Hello, everybody. Today we're going to talk about listing presentation technology. This is also going to help you with when you're working through your systems and keeping organized and stuff like that. Excuse me. So, listing presentation technology, there we have a couple of them available to you as Homestar agents. We have the MoxieWorks, which Century 21 provides, which is not bad for listing presentations. They do have the listing presentation already created in there for regular homes and also one for fine homes. They also have a listing presentation for commercial properties. And all of that is great. And you can use those if you want to. They're pretty easy to go through. The information on how to actually create the presentation is there. Uh, uh, no matter which one of these systems that you do use, the cool thing is that you have technology little bots at the bottom of all your screens now that walk you through things in case you have questions. But for Moxie Present, the listing presentation is already created. You just have to grab one and add your comps and stuff, and we'll get into that in a minute. Using Homestar Advanced AI and Bold Trail also gives you another form of the presentations there. So there's presentation in those systems, and then there's also MoxieWorks. So if you happen to be using Bold Trail with our company, you do have a presentation in there as well that you can use. You want to create modern technology driven listing experience. So you want to show people that you are going to be listing their property and you're going to do it the way that everybody's looking on the internet and through social media and all that stuff. And all of our systems are geared towards that goal. You can also do print media as well, but a lot of the things are all striving to just use online presence. Uh, when you use the Homestar Advanced AI to prepare a faster presentation, you're working a little bit smarter because you have the AI bots in there to do it. Leveraging Bold Trail websites to demonstrate powerful online marketing is a really cool thing. And what that means is that once you create a presentation and you have your listing, um, and the seller signs all the documents and you have your listing and stuff, it will feed into your Bold Trail uh, portal. When you get it into your Bold Trail portal, then you can create squeeze pages and landing pages to share out on social media. And they're really like little tiny mini website kind of things for the particular property. Years ago, we used to have the unique property site, and now we have these other tools, right? Using this squeeze page or this landing page creates ways for you to get leads because there's built-in little widgets that will capture the people's information and send it back to you. And that's why you use the CRM contact management system to follow up with the people because that's where they're going to land. So if you're using Bold Trail, those people will get added to your Bold Trail system. If you're using MoxieWorks, anyone that you do for lead capture off of your website is going to land up in your Moxie Engage. Uh, Turn technology into a competitive advantage at the kitchen table because you can use these things on your little laptop, your tablet, and you can also show them to the clients digitally. Building a technology first listing presentation. So it's not really that hard because most of the stuff is just basically you're selecting a few things, then you're adding some comparables and boom, you're done. It sounds very scary, but it's really not because a lot of the stuff is already going to be made for you. Yeah, it will provide you with a clean digital presentation that can be shown in person or on Zoom. And all of these different presentations you can also do as a PDF version and print them out if you like. So you can email these directly to your client. I suggest that you do it this way, though, that you either do it in person or on Zoom and use the media portion and send them the PDF version too, so that they can see it in paper form. A lot of times when you're doing these presentations and you're choosing the media part of it, it's shrinking it down or it's sizing it so that people can look at it on tablets and on the phone. And the presentation is not the same. It looks different than a 8 by 10 sheet of paper. So you do have the choice of all of those features. And I suggest use them all, right? So a lot of times people want to see that print material and look at the little booklet. And there's nothing wrong with that because if you save it, if you give it to the client, it's always sitting there at their house on their counter or on their coffee table or wherever it may be. And that's free advertising for you. You want to customize your presentation around the seller, the property, and the neighborhood. You want to lead your marketing process instead of along. Oh, I'm sorry, I read this wrong. Lead with your marketing process instead of the long personal resume. So you're not putting a resume in here. You know, yes, they want to know about you, and on your last page, you can list some of your things. You can also put some of your reviews in there if you want, but you don't want to make this all about you. You want to make this about the property and about the person that you're talking to and why they want to choose you as a Century 21 representative, right? To list their house and not necessarily just all the stuff about you. You want to show what happens from pre-listing to closing. Uh, just by giving them a few details about how that's going to happen along the way. And again, the pages are already created for you. You just have to use them. And use screenshots, examples, live demonstrations instead of promises. So if you do have um, previous inventory that you have done, and you do things that are a little bit different. Maybe you do put out the posts on social media and stuff like that, and you have copies of those. You can add those to your presentation to make it look different than everybody else's. You're going to use the same cookie cutter main pages, but this is where you can add a little bit of your own stuff as a flair, right? So you can show things instead like your past sales, a few of your past sales, so they can see that you're actually a producer. If you're not a producer, then you use different examples that are shown either in your Bold Trail or in your Century 21 Canva so that you can show them things. Um, you're backing up what you're telling them with pictures, and a lot of time people like the pictures. The Homestar Advanced AI prepare smarter. So use AI before the appointment to create a more customized presentation. So you want to research the property, neighborhood, and like buyer profile before you arrive. You want to generate customized listing descriptions and marketing angles. Create a seller talking points for price, condition, and marketing position. Build social media, emails, and advertising ideas specifically for that property, and prepare answers and scripts for common seller objections before the meeting. The one thing you are not going to do is you are not going to use the Homestar Advanced AI to do a CMA for you and take it at its face value. The one thing I can tell you is I've done this to see what it would do, and I did it on my own particular home that I own, and it was not correct because this system, whether it's in the Homestar Advanced AI program or any other of them, it could be Bold Trail, it could be RPR, Realtors Property Resource, it could be any of those. It could be even Realist if you're used to using that for your comparables. You have to remember that we as real estate agents are the ones that are the professionals in the market, right? You are taking the time to look at your comparables that you're adding to your presentations to make sure they are like for that property. So, you don't want to have an AI robot create a CMA for you and you never did your due diligence and looked it up and said, well, this says that I can sell your house for blah, 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 when in reality, it's 100 or 200,000 more than what they say or less than what they say. So make sure you are looking at everything, no matter what program you use to do your CMA. Don't do shortcuts and just let AI robots do it for you because they can't see all the data that you can. Your pro tip is to walk into every appointment. Whoops, I'm sorry. With property specific ideas already prepared, personalization makes the seller feel like you have already that you are already working for them. So do your homework. The Bold Trail website and show the marketing engine. Demonstrate where the listing will live and how buyers will engage with it. So this shows sellers your professional Bold Trail website and online presence, which you can do on your tablet or on your laptop. You could do it on your phone too, but it really doesn't have that much of a wow impact when you're just looking at a little small screen. A tablet or a laptop gives them a bigger picture of everything, and they can see your website, so they can see how you are actually portraying their uh, information out to the public. And if you're not with Bold Trail yet, you can use your MoxieWorks website and show them that too. Um, Explain how the property pages can capture interested buyers and inquiries, which is the squeeze page that I was talking about, or the landing page, and those you can both build in Bold Trail. Um, and that's how it captures the buyers, because when they click on it to actually get the information, it's going to request that they add some kind of contact information in there. And that's how we get their contact information, so we can follow up with them and see if they want to see the house. Demonstrate mobile-friendly property marketing for today's consumers. So like I said, you can see it on a tablet, a laptop, a regular computer, your phone. You can print the information out. You can show it to them in all kinds of different ways. Use landing pages and online calls to action to create additional opportunities. So that's also what I was talking about, the landing pages or the squeeze pages, so that you can get the information to contact the people back. Explain how website activity connects back to your lead follow-up process, because all of the information automatically gets put into your system. It's easy for you to follow up with those people. I am telling you sure that you are doing that. If you are telling someone that you're going to follow up with all the leads, please make sure you're following up with all the leads. Your pro tip here is to tell the seller marketing creates attention, but follow up converts attention into showings and offers, and then show them your follow up system. Use AI to create a property marketing campaign. Turn one listing into a coordinated multi-channel launch. Create multiple versions of listing copy for different audiences and platforms. Generate social media posts, email campaigns, video scripts, and advertising concepts. Develop open house promotions and follow-up messages quickly. Create neighborhood and lifestyle content that sells more than the house. Refresh marketing when activity slows instead of repeating the same message. So you can do, and you might think, oh my gosh, create multiple versions of my listing copy. No, you just let AI do it for you. They can do that for you. You don't have to sit there and figure it out, but you got to make sure it's correct. Generate social posts and email campaigns, video scripts, advertising concepts. Oh, I'm not a marketing guru. That's why you want to use Bold Trail, because they can do it for you. As far as social posts or email campaigns, your Moxie Engage, your Moxie Impress will do the same thing. Okay, so you do have different versions of the things. The Bold Trail, I do want to say, is more robust in this area because that's why it was created. But you can do it in both places too. Or if you're working with a different program, maybe you're not a Century 21 Homestar agent, see if your program can do that. If they can't do that, then maybe you want to call us and switch over. Develop open house promotions and follow-up messages quickly. So those are easy because they're already created in your system. You just have to use them. So if you get the gist of what I'm telling you is your systems, whether it's MoxieWorks or whether it's Bold Trail with the Homestar AI program, they're generating a lot of stuff for you. So is Canva with Century 21. Canva and Century 21 also have all of this stuff created for you. You just have to use it. And getting familiar with using it is by taking the training that's provided to you. Either it's from Bold Trail or it's from Century 21. But you don't have to just rely on me or Tony or even Kelly to tell you any of this stuff. You can go directly to and take the training yourself so that you can understand it, which I really suggest because a lot of times I'm just going over the surface stuff and there's so many layers underneath that I don't even touch on. I'm trying to get you to the point where you're doing the investigating things up on your own. During the appointment, show the seller several marketing ideas specifically created for their home. Make a presentation about their property, not generic brokerage marketing. That's why you want to put as much information about the property that you have into your presentation. If you don't have a lot of information, that's one thing, but you have to be able to read your sellers. Some sellers don't want to have their stuff all over the place, and they're going to rely on you talking to people to get them to the house. And we can talk about different things like working with a regular residential versus a luxury home and those specific specifications and things like that privately and individually. You can always talk to me or Tony about those things. Turn technology into seller communication. Technology should make the seller feel informed, not overwhelmed. Set expectations for how hard and when you will communicate after the listing goes live. Track inquiries showing activity, follow up in your contact management system. Use organized notes and tasks so important seller commitments are not forgotten. Provide structured updates on market activity, feedback, and next steps. Use data and activity to guide pricing and strategy conversations. So whether you're in Bold Trail and you're sending the information out through their system or you're using Century 21 system, in Century 21, we have the Golden Ruler. The Golden Ruler is your activity report online. It shows your seller, how many hits they're getting from the top 10 places. Where in the world on a map are people looking at their listing? How many people are looking at their listing? Have they showed it to anybody else? Have they favored it? Have they saved it? Have they requested information? Our reports are fantastic. And all you have to do is put in your seller's email address, click a button that says, yes, send me this once a week, and you and your seller will get it every Monday. Simple as that. It keeps them updated with pretty much all of this stuff that's on here so that they can see what's happening. This is really, really important because you need this information, especially if you need to lower the price because you're not getting enough activity. If you have 2,000 people that are looking at this property and saving it, but nobody's jumping to see it, the house is too high. It's priced too high. Bold Trail has a similar version to this. I will be honest and don't remember the name of it, but it is in there as well. I have yet to be able to use this, but hopefully coming up soon, I'll be able to use that and I can give you some feedback on how it is. But the Golden Ruler, love it. So do all the sellers. Promise a communication system you can consistently deliver. Reliability, transparency can be more valuable to the seller than any other marketing gimmick, which is if you tell them that you are going to give them feedback once a week, then give them feedback once a week. Even if you have nothing to report, you still want to be talking to them because you don't want them to think that you listed the property and then you ghosted them and you're not doing anything to try and get it sold when you really are. It's just sometimes it's hard for us to uh, tell that person nothing new has happened today. So we're in a wacky real estate market right now, and um, communication is going to be the key to keep your sellers from stressing out if their house is not going to sell right away. Some of them are still selling right away and some are not. So use data so you can guide the pricing and the strategic conversations that you need to have with your seller. Close the listing with a technology advantage. Connect every tool to a reason the seller should choose you. Summarize how your AI tools help create better and faster marketing. Reinforce how Bold Trail expands your digital presence and lead capture. Explain how your CRM creates organized, consistent buyer follow up. Contrast your complete system with agents who rely mainly on the MLS and assign. Ask confidently for the listing after demonstrating the value of your process. So, what this is telling you to do is reiterate all the key points that you just showed them, right? Show them or tell them how your system is better, because if you just have someone who's just putting it in the MLS and putting a sign in the yard, they're just crossing their fingers with a hope and a prayer, right? You're trying to actually get those buyers to come to us. And then once you get done with your presentation, ask them when they're ready to be active. Be confident. Act like you already have the listing. Your pro tip is to close with, you're not just hiring me, you're hiring the complete Homestar system behind me. Are you comfortable moving forward and getting your home on the market? If they say no, you want to find out why. Here is my little tidbit of tips and tricks for you today. I made this in our AI system, and this is something that you can post on your social media. As you can see, it really has nothing to do with real estate, but it's got my information down there so that people can see who I actually work with. But it has a call to action because I'm asking them questions. Which one do you like, morning workout or evening workout, right? You want to uh, drop your information below and let's compare notes. So you're asking them to provide the answer in the comments. Why is that important? Because every time you post something on social media, you should be replying to the people who have liked it or shared it or commented on it. So people who comment on it create a conversation, because the more likable you are and the more conversations that you create on social media, the more they're going to remember you. Yeah, she's not just all about working with homes and stuff. She's an actual live person that goes to the gym, and sometimes in the morning and sometimes in the evening. So, which one do I like better? Well, I like going to the gym in the evening because it just evens out your day or whatever. Okay, so both ways you can do this, and this creates conversations. I hope you have a great rest of your day. If anybody has any questions about any of these systems whatsoever, whether it's MoxieWorks, whether it's Bold Trail, whether it's Empower AI, we have so much going on here at the office with all of this new technology. And our main goal with all of this is to make sure that you guys are getting what you need so that you can build your business and be able to work it efficiently. Have a great day. You know how to reach me, and I'll talk to you soon.